Hey guys, so how did I become the AI guy for businesses? I decided to make this video because many times when I have meetings with business owners, they ask me, hey, how did you come up to this AI world? What's your AI backstory? And every time I will just make, a small summary about how did I become involved in AI. But yeah, let me tell you more about my AI backstory. So everything started in college years. At the time I was doing a computer science degree. So basically at a university called AUI, which stands for Al Akhawain University in Ifran, Morocco. So Ifran is a small town in Morocco, and this is how the campus looks like. It's kind of snowy, but at least it was like an interesting experience. So basically it was during the years of 2013 up to 2017, and this university basically follows the US liberal arts system. So in the addition of my major, I also had a minor plus some elective courses and some common courses. I did a major in CS, but I also did a minor in business administration. And the reason is that I was also interested in finance. So basically I would study principles of finance, corporate finance, money and banking, and so on. And the reason why I was interested in finance is that I wanted to become a quant. So guys, if you don't know what is a quant, if you have watched the movie The Big Short, there is like a famous scene where there is a guy that says, hey, that's my quant. And there is another guy who says, you're what? My quantitative, my math specialist. So basically quants are like some math and computer science nerds, and basically they help traders make good bets on the market because they help them get an edge, basically, thanks to their skills. So basically I wanted to become that. It's about algorithmic trading systems. I used to watch a lot of documentaries, and at that time this was the first time I heard about high frequency trading. So it's like a type of trading where the time scale is in nanoseconds. So yeah, everything was very fascinating for me. And actually it is still fascinating. So basically using computer science plus finance data to gain an edge on the market. I also frequently used to visit this website, wallstreetoasis.com. So here it is. It was basically a forum where people will talk about investment banking, their salaries, the work culture, some funny anecdotes, and so on. So yeah, it was very nice to always visit this website and hear new stuff about all those topics. I also even got books like Heard on the Street, which is this one. It's basically a book that will list a lot of questions that will be asked during job interviews to become a quant. So a lot of stats, a lot of math and nerdy stuff, basically. I also used to read this book, Frequently Asked Quantitative Questions, which is this one. So just to know that I was super serious about becoming a quant during that time. And during my last semester in 2017, I did an elective course called Applied Research. So basically the concept is that we choose any topic as long as it is related to computer science, and we do experiments on it. We do research, basically. And basically I wanted to know what professional algorithmic traders used as techniques to trade, to do their profession, basically. During this course, this will be the very first time I will hear the keyword machine learning. And as far as I remember, I think it was during some Google Scholar session, where I found some papers, some finance papers about computer science applied to forex trading and so on. And that's where, basically I found the keyword machine learning. And I decided to name my applied research project Machine Learning Techniques for Financial Forecasting. And as a proof of this, I found a web page that dates back to 2017. So as you can see here, it is the 2nd of May 2017, and I used the Wayback Machine, to get back to it, because I think this blog post is no more accessible in my university's website. So as you can see here, AUI students participate in the 2017 undergraduate research competition, so that you can attest and see that this is all real. And here's my line dedicated to my research topic: SSE student, meaning School of Science and Engineering students. And here's my full name: advised by faculty member, presented his research, machine learning techniques for financial forecasting. So basically, at the end of the semester, we had to do a presentation where we had to show our projects and results. And actually, the project is still publicly available on GitHub, so anybody can see it. And basically, it was an epic fail, because I had something called data leakage. Is when you basically train a machine learning model, but a part of the input you include also some part of the output, so which means that whenever the machine learning tries to predict something, it kind of already has the answer, so you're basically introducing a lot of bias to this machine learning model. And yeah, basically when I saw the results, I thought I had everything figured out. I was like, oh, this machine learning thing is so easy, But in hindsight, it was a very good lesson. I learned a lot of things like data processing, also Python libraries for machine learning. One that is very famous is called sklearn or scikit-learn, and other libraries for building neural networks. And if you want to know more about this GitHub repository, here is it. It is publicly available, so anyone can see it. So yeah, as you can see, this is like a sliding window, basically using 6 days to predict the 7th one. And I did 2 types of tasks. One that is called regression, basically trying to predict the exact closing price. And the second task was classification, meaning whether the next candle, will it be green or red, basically. And if you can see in this chart, the results might look very good, but actually this is very bad. And I don't want to go into the details, but it was very good practice and I learned a lot of things, and I think that's the most important thing, basically. Also, during that time, in 2017, the AI wave started gaining momentum, believe it or not. At least in academia, it was still very niche, to be honest, but there were some news, There was AlphaGo Zero from DeepMind. AlphaGo was like an algorithm that was super good at the game of Go, and I think there was a competition between this algorithm and the player Lee Sedol, and basically, AlphaGo Zero was like the next version of it, and it was, extremely good at the game of Go. And yeah, it made a big splash in academia and in the AI world, and basically people that got interest from this subject. There was another big news in ML, in machine learning and AI. It was something called AutoML. It was a paper published by Google where they introduced the idea of like an AI automatically designing a new AI. So yeah, it was this recursive idea basically, and it also made big news basically in the world of AI. And the more I learned about AI, the more I started to realize this tech will be horizontal, meaning it would affect every single industry. Because, at the end of the day, AI is about stats, and stats is about applying analysis to data, to extract insights. And where do you have data? You have it everywhere, in every single industry. That's why I got super excited about AI. And yeah, the less I was curious about financial forecasting, because algorithmic trading is one specific use case of AI applied to finance, while AI in general is applying, computer science and stats to any type of industry. During that time, I was also answering AI-related questions on Quora. So if you don't know, Quora is like a website forum where people would ask questions and some other people would answer to those questions. It's a bit like Reddit nowadays. So let's go over some of the questions that I answered. One of those questions is, what are the numerous examples of artificial intelligence systems today? And this was 8 years ago. So my answer was, usual examples given are spam filtering, Google, YouTube giving you keyword suggestions while you are typing, smart driving cars, and disease detection. So those are super relevant, but I insisted in giving more creative examples. For example, crowd simulation or 3D design, creation of chairs with maximum comfort, visual appearance. Decision making, reducing the costs / increasing the revenues of companies by looking at their data. And yeah, this is basically something that I answered about AI 8 years ago. And this is extremely relevant today. Another question that I answered, it was 7 years ago, is the question, what is your biggest machine learning project failure? And basically, I told the story that I just told you about the machine learning for financial forecasting. And yeah, it was, this is what I wrote, trying to create a machine learning model for finance and having extremely good results and actually getting excited by them. I say here the exact same thing that I told you. I was really happy about my work and thought to myself, after all, machine learning is not that hard. You just need to build the model and apply it the good way. And basically, this taught me some good lessons. First, if you are trying to implement something new for the first time and everything is perfect, in parentheses, you have really good results, then there is definitely something wrong with your algorithm. Secondly, the process of creating a predictive models takes a lot of time. So yeah, basically these were some kind of topics related to AI that I used to answer back in the days. Now we move on to a period which is the transition between my Bachelor of Science and my Master of Science. Basically, I graduated in fall 2017 and I wanted to pursue my education in a Master of Science. I was still hesitant between AI and financial engineering, and basically I applied to multiple programs in AI and some in financial engineering. I remember in financial engineering I applied in Hong Kong, in South Korea, in Singapore. I was pretty interested, in some Asian programs. And for AI, I applied to multiple programs, but at the end of the day, I had a choice between going to Canada or to the Netherlands. I ended up going to the Netherlands. I studied a Master of Science in AI at the University of Maastricht. And here is this program. It is extremely good. I enjoyed it, and I would advise it to anyone who wants to specialize in AI nowadays. So I started this master's in February 2019. It was a 2 years program. It was extremely intense, but I really enjoyed it. I remember during the first weeks, I felt extremely lucky to be able to study this field because I knew, deep inside me that it would have a big impact. And basically, I thought, yeah, this is such a very good skill to add in my set of skills because even, if things turn bad or anything, at least I would have those skills inside my brain, as knowledge so that I can use them and basically get an edge basically on the job market. Another thing that was super positive for me is that this program was extremely practical. So we did a lot of projects, and actually I don't like theory. I don't like, diving into theoretical fluff. I prefer project, going to the real things, real difficulties, and so on. So yeah, I learned the math and stats behind AI models. So even though those were kind of theoretical, I still enjoyed that because I like math and stats. We also learned how to create our own AI models. So think of how to create our own ChatGPT. Of course, not the same scale, but the same basis of architecture. which are called neural networks, basically. A very important thing, we also learned how to do research in advanced AI, basically bringing innovation to the AI field. It was about either creating a new AI architecture or reusing an existing architecture to a new field or coming up with a new training procedure and so on. Also had the opportunity to publish my first papers. So basically I worked on 5 papers and 3 were published in peer-reviewed journals and conferences. We also had many interesting projects for each course. So for example, for the computer vision course, we had to do something related to face recognition. And I have it here. So yeah, those are some images that we had to apply some algorithms to learn to do facial recognition, and yeah, it was super interesting. Another thing that we learned is to create an intelligent AI agent that would play a board game. And actually, something extremely fun, we had a tournament where our AIs would fight each other. So yeah, again, I also have it on my GitHub. It was a game called Andantino. As you can see here, this is a hexagonal based board game with letters here and numbers, and basically it was some algorithms called Minimax. So guys, if you know, there was Garry Kasparov in chess who faced an AI algorithm from IBM called Deep Blue. So basically, we used the exact same algorithms. Those are called Minimax, and we used some advanced versions of that. We also learned how to generate music, basically MIDI notes, you know, using AI. And at the time, this type of AI was not called generative AI. And again, you know, this project, you can also find it. It is publicly available on my GitHub. I used Final Fantasy MIDI songs. I'm a huge fan of this video game. I used to play it a lot when I was a teen. So yeah, basically think of Suno AI, what it does right now. It was a very basic version of Suno AI. Of course, Suno AI, they use very advanced AI models and so on. But this one was about, you know, just getting used to this type of projects of how we can use AI to generate new stuff. And in this case, I decided to generate audio. So yeah, as I was saying, although, you know, we didn't call this type of AI generative AI, the term generative was still circulating around with the type of AI models called generative adversarial networks, or GANs. During my master's, I also participated into my first deep learning conference. It was in Nairobi, Kenya. It's called Deep Learning Indaba. So here it is. So as you can see, it was in Kenyatta University, which is located in Nairobi. It was extremely interesting. I got to meet a lot of interesting people from Apple, from IBM, from Google and DeepMind and so on. And yeah, it was very, very interesting. And anybody actually who is in the AI field should attend this type of conferences, because you will get to meet people that you would never get the chance to meet otherwise. And I will actually tell you a funny story about this conference. Basically, during this conference, there were multiple workshops organized, and one of them was called Attention and Memory Architectures. It seemed a bit intriguing, you know, because during that time you had this concept of attention, which is basically focusing on something specific to achieve higher accuracy of your AI. So yeah, it was intriguing. Let me show you the YouTube video about it. So as you can see, parallel day 3, attention and memory architectures. One of the speakers is Aidan Gomez, okay? And here is me with my little nerdy glasses attending this talk, you know? Okay, so who is Aiden Gomez? Aiden Gomez is one of the authors of the paper Attention is All You Need. As you can see here, here's his name. And basically, Attention is All You Need is the paper behind ChatGPT. So this talk was back in 2019. It was 2 years after the release of the paper Attention is All You Need. And this guy is now the CEO of Cohere AI, which is a big AI company. They have more than $100 million in revenues per year. So it was a very unique chance to attend his workshop. And actually, we had some casual discussion, after his workshop. Obviously, nobody knew about ChatGPT at that time. It was very early back in the days, basically. I also did my first internship during my master's as a machine learning research engineer. It was an interesting topic called audio source separation. So this topic means that we want to separate in MP3 files, basically in files of songs, your typical song, think of, Tupac or Michael Jackson song. Imagine you have an MP3 file as the input, and we want to use AI to output two files. One audio file that will contain only the singer, singing, and another audio file containing only the instruments, We managed to reduce the training time and the usage time of this AI model. So the technical term is called inference. The company was called Evolute. It was a French tech company. It specialized in audio processing for gaming, and it produced the software Nahimic. I think this software is used a lot in MSI gaming laptops. And funny thing is that it was acquired during my internship by SteelSeries. So by the end of my master's, I graduated in fall 2021 after an interesting master thesis that resulted in one published paper. And basically, although it was not about finance, it was still about forecasting. I still love the topic of forecasting, and I still, check it on a regular basis. It was about weather forecasting, more specifically wind speed forecasting. And even though here I say it is not about finance, weather forecasting actually can be used for finance and for trading, and maybe this could be the subject of another video. After I was done with my master's, I was like, okay, should I continue into a PhD or should I start my own business? The thing is that I liked research a lot, and I still like it to this day. I still follow, the latest trends in terms of AI research and AI models and so on. But I always value freedom, which is something extremely important for me. And I learned something during that experience, is that research in academia can be pretty toxic. And basically, you have a famous motto inside of academia called publish or perish. There is a constant pressure to publish. Basically, quantity is much more important than quality. And basically, the reason is that university rankings are affected by the numbers of papers that are published each year. And obviously, the number of applications in a university is impacted by their rankings. So, basically, it was not ideal. And I was also thinking, PhDs, they last for 4 years, but those years also give you enough time to start and grow a solid business. So at the end of the day, I chose the business route. I knew that developing AI models in general cost a lot of money because I think at that time, there was this big controversial thing about OpenAI transitioning, from not-for-profit to a for-profit, or something like there was a deal between OpenAI and Microsoft and something like that. It was well known, that big AI models were expensive to develop, basically. And when you choose the business route, either you go in startup mode, meaning you try to raise as much money as possible and to grow as fast as possible, or to go bootstrapped, meaning that you don't raise money, but you aim for profitability as soon as possible. And also during that time, bootstrapped SaaS communities started gaining momentum. I ended up going the bootstrapped way, and I launched a first SaaS, which is a health tech solution. Moving forward to 2023, ChatGPT was released, and at that time I was still working on my SaaS. But the more I read about the capabilities of ChatGPT, the more I knew there was something there. There was something that could work. Basically, the problem before ChatGPT was that pitching AI to someone was like talking about a sci-fi business, that will be viable in a distant future. People would act weird when you would speak about AI and artificial intelligence. Actually, I remember, when people would ask me, hey, what do you study? And I would say AI. People would say, AI, what is this? And then I would say artificial intelligence, and people say, "Whoa, that's great, man. That's it was very strange at that time, basically." But the thing is that ChatGPT and OpenAI helped to solve two things. Basically, it was awareness of consumers about AI, and it also unlocked AI education. Basically, OpenAI helped a lot in terms of marketing. I also realized that the opportunity was to help businesses take advantage of AI. ChatGPT makes it extremely cheap to deliver tangible results to companies. And obviously, my background in advanced AI would help a lot in terms of credibility. And the good thing about me is that everything is listed online in case people Google my name. And actually, you can see it here. If you Google my full name, you will see my Google Scholar, account where you will see my papers. And here from Semantic Scholar, you can see 3 highly influential citations and 5 scientific research papers. So everything is listed online, and I don't have to prove that I was in the AI field before the hype, basically. So right now, 100% of my focus is on Neura First. We help in AI speed to lead and AI database reactivation, but we want to start transitioning into AI research and development projects. I want to go back to applying state-of-the-art AI techniques and going back to advanced research in AI. So that was it, guys. I hope you found this backstory interesting, and if you're a business owner, now you know how I got involved with AI. Cheers, guys.